Okay, welcome everybody. Welcome back. This is the second evening plenary of day 3, and it is wonderful to be with you. We have a tremendous session coming up. Today is June 20 in most of the world still, and of course that is the United Nations Day of Refugees, the official UN Day of Refugees. So we're going to be having an incredible panel about the House of Hope in Poland. This is the amazing work of Nina Meyerhoff and Domen Kovasar and many others that have come together to fulfill and realize this dream right next to Auschwitz in Poland, and now open to refugees coming from Ukraine. It's an astounding, inspiring story of collaboration and cooperation and just the will to goodness, as Avon has named in her last speech. So I want to introduce Anna Marie Verhoeven from the Hague Center for Global Governance, who's going to be facilitating this session on the House of Hope, staying up late all the way from Holland. Welcome, Anna Marie.
Thank you, Ben. Thank you. And I would immediately like to bring in Nina as the co-founder of the One Humanity Institute, and Domen, just to show his face already. He will be speaking later on, but it's actually thanks to those two people that have kept going strongly to really bring this into manifestation. And before we start, we would like to kind of create a space of, let's call it sacredness and gratitude and gratefulness, and also of letting our hearts open up so that love can flow. And Janice, please, would you guide us through that?
Excuse me. Hello and welcome, everyone. Good morning, good evening around the world. The House of Hope was imagined into being. I'm going to start with a little snippet of Emily Dickinson. Hope is the thing with feathers that perches in the soul and sings the tune without words and never stops at all. So let's take a moment. Let's be present in and to the present, which is an unbounded moment of innocence and purity, pregnant with all possibilities. Let's sit for a minute with those possibilities and ask all of our ancestors, past, present, future, from both the inner and outer planes, to awaken the compassion in the world and open our hearts and help us to recognize and remember ourselves into one humanity. I ask for a moment of silence to let this field of possibilities grow and ripple throughout the world. It will begin at the sound of this bell.
Well, thank you, Janice. Yay. The pregnant silence, it's wonderful. And I'd like to begin with explaining a bit about our historical past. And first of all, to say gracious thank yous to Ben and everyone that we've been working with, because only with them could any of this happen. It's a long story, but a very good story, and I look forward to telling it. About 7 years ago, Doman and myself went to Auschwitz, and we began to imagine what would be the solution to no longer have those horrors experienced on our planet. And we realized the only way is for us to finally become one humanity and to understand there are no separations. There's only the collective and the cooperative good that's absolutely necessary for us to move forward in a way that's healthy, that we call thriving, and that allows our young people to have a life of meaning on our planet. And so we began to imagine, what could that be like? How could we set and concretize the ideas of one humanity? Because it's very nice, lofty thinking, but how to put those thoughts into form, very, very important. And so we designed One Humanity Institute. And we went there year after year, working and working. We met with the mayor, the ministries in Poland, the president of the museum, et cetera, And so we would like to share a short vision of what we imagine. And we still are working towards this. Domin, would you show the video, the Imagine?
Of course. But you say a few words, yes.
Excuse me?
It's okay. It's coming. That's it.
Imagine that there is an end to terror, suffering, trauma. Imagine there is a place unlike any other that is dedicating its total existence to this cause as the answer to one of the world's darkest moments in history. Placed close to Auschwitz, the city of hope, or one humanity, focusing on collaboration, equality, responsibility, creativity, and innovation, to spread love and all our mutual caring. A city, a sanctuary, a response, to act towards a world of peace using sustainable, mutual, experiential paths for seeing the change. Imagine, this place already exists. With a team of people just like you that believe in this vision of a world of peace. Let's pursue this world together.
Thank you. So the magic began. Oops. And so the magic began, and at the beginning of the Ukrainian war, there was a sense of immediacy that needed to be attended to. And I, with two other people, Christine and Diane Williams, went to Poland. We went to the border. We took 25 teddy bears, but we ended up with 1,400. It was amazing. And we gave each one out to individual children. And the eyes of these children as they held the bears, as they walking across the border, was amazing, because they were so grateful that somebody cared. And their mothers felt relief only for a short moment, But in this process, we realized everybody, nobody knew where they were going. Everybody said, "Where will I sleep tonight?" And there were cots everywhere. It was a really disturbing sight. You had to see thousands of people lying on cots, just anxious, bewildered. And so we have 2 houses, and that's pretty amazing. We have bequeathed to us 2 houses in the town of Auschwitz, Oswiecim, and we decided right then and there that we collectively would create a house of hope for Ukrainian guests. Now, this house, it was in disrepair, so we had to work very consciously to raise money to make it possible for the guests to move in. So we put out GoFundMes, we put out letters, but it really was from all the people on this call. We worked together, and that was what was so amazing. It was a synergistic explosion of cooperation and understanding and accepting that we all had roles to play, but only together could we make this happen. And we did. And we are so excited to share this with you. So I would like to invite Tim. Are you here? Where are you?
Yes,
Tim?
I am.
Good. I
Yes.
don't see the face. Oh, there you are. Nice to see you. He is our first guest at the House of Hope, and we're really excited to have you there. He and his mother moved in this week. Yes. And he goes to school now at the local high school. And maybe you could share a little bit about your story, where you came from, and why you're moving into the House of Hope, and how does it feel to you right now? Yeah?
Yes, my name is Timofey. I'm 17. I'm from Ukraine, Zaporizhzhia Oblast, town Tokmak. I went to Poland on the 12th of April. A lot of people in Poland helped me with clothes, food, money, temporary house, received me with great and warm hospitality. Kind man presented me a bike. My past plans before the war were to pass well exams, move into a bigger city, Zaporizhzhia, to enter the university. But everything was changed. I want to study and work in Poland. My native town had been already temporarily occupied, so we were forced to leave our home. A war is always a bad thing. I live with my mother in House of Hope. We are happy that got a room. We have been living for 5 days already.
Very nice. And we're going to show your video, okay? Domin, would you want to say
Okay.
something else? Tim, would you like to say something else?
No.
Okay, we're going to show your video.
Hello, my name is Timofey. I am 17 and I'm from Ukraine, from small town Tokmak. It is project House of Hope. Welcome, please. We have been living here already for 5 days. It is bathroom, not interesting. It is our kitchen, fridge, washing machine. So here we eat some food. It is my room. I live here with my mother. This is our bunk beds. This sofa. Here I do my homework. I study Polish and English language now. So I want to study and work in Poland. I want to stay here. It is common room. You can do some work here. We can iron our clothes, and it is wardrobe. It is room for 6 persons, 2 bunk beds and 1 sofa for 2 persons. It is my disciple. It was presented for me. And this all. Best wishes to Nina. Thank you very much for this project. I'm very glad and happy to live here. Thank you very much. Goodbye.
You're on mute, Nina.
Yes.
Thank you.
Elena is not here. Thank you very much, Tim. That was great. Yeah, we're good. Okay, and now we're going to have Dot, is that correct? Yeah. Talk about.
Yes, we're going to go to Dot to ask her to share a little bit about the Philhelmich room, because that's also very important for, of course, for the youth that are going to be in the House of Hope, and shows another way of how we have collaborated together. And whatever you want to share, Dot, please go ahead.
Thank you, Anne-Marie. Thank you, Nina and Doman and Timothy. Your story touches our hearts. We're so grateful that the House of Hope now welcomes you and your mother, and we look forward to the House of Hope welcoming others. Your video was beautiful. Thank you. So many of us began immediately working closely with Nina and Doman as the Ukraine crisis began. And, you know, one of our beloveds, Philip Helmick, who was the director of peace with Shift Network, he died a bit ago now, a couple of months ago. And Nina offered that, we were talking with John Raymer, and offered that her team had talked about this, and that the Peace Lab, the resource room there in the House of Hope, would be in honor of Philip Helmick and his work with peace, world peace, children around the world. And so many of us are now assisting with getting computers for that room. The Helmick family is preparing a plaque for that room. And, you know, Timothy, I have to say, as you shared just now, what has always touched me the most deeply is that we have the capacity to come together as a world community right now and stand for what's good, beautiful, and true together. And if we can find a way in House of Hope to connect you with your schoolmates and teachers and friends who are still in Ukraine, that will make our hearts sing. So thank you so much.
Understand. Thank you too.
Yeah, it's very beautiful. So Anne-Marie, I think that's the basic story as far as we're concerned with the Peace Lab. John Raymer came up with that name, and it, you know, there are numerous events this week that will feature one of the teachers with the Peace School in Kyiv and others who have written children's books and other books. There are so many resources now being made available. So thank you.
I'm happy to share,
Yes.
because we've really been working on this for a while. It's still underground because we haven't finished the room nor gotten the computers, but we've already started to design what can happen. And we recently got a grant for youth to learn about climate change and human rights, and that will be one of the workshops. Plus, we're looking at long distance education so that the young people who are from Ukraine, even in the town, can use these computers to communicate with their friends or the schools and get the lessons that they are not taking now. Because what happens in the Polish classroom, it's very difficult to learn under a different language and to have a different curriculum. So this way they can have the exposure of both. And Tim is going to be leading the pack. It's really good. Yeah, we're excited for that. So, the whole house is coming alive now. We interviewed today different families. We're already bringing them in. We're deciding how and where and what will happen. We've really moved into the next phase of what we're doing. Yes.
And I think, Nina,
Yeah.
let's ask Kashi to join us, because there still needs to be done a lot of work. There has already been done an enormous amount of work. And really, I would really love to say thank you, Kashi, for you and all the other people that you have been able to mobilize in the town and the volunteers that have come. But please, maybe you can share what you would like to say, Kashi, and then with Doman together show a little bit how we're going to be seeing the next period of time, the House of Hope and the bakery site further develop.
Yes, in a place of project called bakery, because we called this place like this,
Yes.
planned on base of ordinary life of people at the time of a war. We experienced stories, families which were trying to survive, making and sharing a bread. All concepts including to show stories. We were and still are discovering how time of war was giving opportunity of showing and experience pure human side, supporting others to survive without borders between nations, hearing their voices which almost no one wanted or was not interested to hear. Nobody knew that we became in our times a part of almost the same situation, helping people experienced by the war. The war in Ukraine, so near to us, our bakery to open doors for refugees. Decision was very any doubts. We are in the process of renovating space to give them the best opportunities to live there, like at home. Yeah.
Yes, thank you. So really, as you're expressing, so to see how something happened and immediately you were able to adapt and change and follow also and be inspired by what was happening, and to see how you could offer the place. But that did require you to really get your act together, because the house wasn't ready for people to live in. Huh? So please, can you share a little bit how that went? Because really, it was quite a journey.
Yeah. It was like very, very consciously and unconsciously action. So every people just start to think how to realize it and bring to the life the space for refugees and help them to be at home. We have a lot in Poland, that kind of experience at that time and also still now. So being near the war and feeling people escaping from their country. So we made some team which really follow our thoughts and needs, and we made complete everything to do forward. Yes.
Yes, and Justina was playing.
I'm sorry. Yes.
Yeah, and Justina was playing an important role in that as well, huh? As one of the people from the town. And Justina, you're there, so maybe you want to just say hello. Sorry, Becky, we hadn't said that Justina would also be there. So Kashi, you really with reaching out to other people in the town to serve. Justina, do you want to say something?
Me?
Yes,
yeah,
please.
All right. So yeah, I started with that team in April.
Can you speak a little bit louder?
Yes, I can. Yes, I can. Just give me a second, probably.
Yeah.
So I started in April with the team when indeed the apartments were just in scratch, and there was a lot of renovation going on.
Justina, I think maybe you're sitting on a mic or something like that.
No, I'm not.
No?
Can you hear me? Can you hear me well?
Very softly, but anyway, you're saying that in April you started and the apartment was actually not yet really a proper apartment, was it? And then you really worked together.
And we made it to have the first flat ready right now, and that was indeed great work of so many people who volunteered, and these were people from here and from the United States, and there were Ukrainians themselves locally supporting, like assembling furnitures and everything. So it's been great to watch that it's happening, and it happened, and we can indeed welcome people already
Yeah.
with everybody.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So I would like to add, because there were so many volunteers, I want to share that there were volunteers from the United States that paid their own way, paid for their hotel, and worked for 2 to 6 weeks for nothing on the house, stripping wallpaper off, painting toilet areas, doing the dirty work, picking up garbage. Yeah, I mean, and these two people here with Doman's input really put the house together, and it is beautiful. So congratulations, Doman.
Two of the volunteers flew over from United States, and they celebrated their birthdays there, and never saying it's happening. So I said, how, what, so selflessly coming there. So I will just round without the sound, the video behind, and Anna-Marie, you can just lead forward just how was the state, because now you
Yes.
saw only one apartment, but you'll see a bit of glances. It's a big thing, and then also for the future forward. So just go
Okay.
on,
Yes,
Anna-Marie.
go ahead. No, go ahead. Do that. Do that.
Yeah, it will be without the sound, so
Yes.
you
So
can speak.
yeah.
I want to mention Brother's brother and the technology company from Pennsylvania, because they gave so much time and effort and a lot of money. Okay.
Okay.
I can, now it's silent, yes?
Yes. Okay.
So
So do you want to
Nina,
share,
just go
Doman?
for it.
No, Doman, you do it. Let's hear
Okay,
your
so-
voice too. Let's hear your voice too, because you're there so often. I mean, Kashi, you're kind of like the anchor that is there all the time, of course, and having the overview, and with Justina. And then Doman, you come so regularly all the way from Slovenia or wherever you are in the world to really make this ongoingly facing this.
Yeah. So you're seeing, so that's the apartment which team showed. That was maybe less than 2 weeks ago, but there are now at the moment 2 that size of apartments, and 2 free, a bit smaller ones, the potential for 2 more. But as the vision is for the future for the House of Hope is that it's also there a working space, what we call the Peace Lab, a bigger space that people will be able to work together there and do programs. And what happened during all this preparation is that we connected very well for the local schools in these years, and they were local youth coming and helping and cleaning and doing. Now this is already renovated, the new doors there. Now it is as it is, but soon it's gonna be Kashi, you could say, but I think this is a bit more forward now. In few weeks everything will be finished, but this will be a working space. But what is interesting here is also that we have, I'll show it here to the window. Don't be afraid, now it's a bit different, but it's going to be the inner courtyard, because the House of Hope is in the center of Oswiecim. And 6 years ago, when we started visiting Auschwitz with Nina, we saw the city which is hostage of the past. We saw, of course, the nation which is the hostage of the past, all included of the tragedy of World War II. We're all hostages of the past. And that was a dream, how to do something that would not point fingers, but how to make safe spaces that will start to dissolve that past without being ignorant of it, but without being detached to it. Because I believe in 21st century, and we see how far we are with the Ukraine war, but it doesn't deserve that people would be harming other people. It's
Doman, before you go on,
incomprehensible. Yes, please.
Can you stop the video now and can you put on the future plans or the plans that
Yes, of
Kashi
course.
is working on with the team? Because we also need to be aware of our time.
Yes, please.
I mean, we could
That's why
share
you're
about this
there.
for a long time, but yeah, so please continue to talk, but then show the plans that Kashi has made.
Yes.
And
Because Ukraine war caught us, all of us, yes, and especially people there. But the vision of a bit before was of the One Humanity Bakery, which you see here, and that was the response, really the immediate, the instant response of Nina, that this house here, which is planned in the future to be the bed and breakfast over the whole complex with the social innovation incubator and so on, that we transform this one in the house for the refugees from Ukraine. And of course, with developing, responding, and seeing the responses from the world, it became clear that that's a bit of a guiding process. I was very sad when I suddenly realized that for 5 years I was saying we're doing project because it should never happen again, and then one moment it started happening just 300 kilometers away, and it was really a reality check, because we have, whatever we're doing, we're not playing with the world. It's really happening now, and we have to do. And Ben, you're doing it with the whole team and the whole big network now, because now it's needed. It's not a fancy dream, but the future of humanity is very dependent of all our thousands and millions of mini or maxi actions, and it's no more playing around. Yes, and we responded to very fast. This is a nice vision, but now it's a bit different. Now people are starting to live in this house, which are really running away from a war, and really hoping and envisioning and magnetizing that those who would be coming would really be one, feeling safe there, and then slowly maybe finding some action, vision, how that we could support them to even give more back in the future. And let's see how it will unravel. But we really see on the other side also what we're preparing is the very direct, imminent platform response, because that was happening. On one side we thought we need 5 refrigerators, on other side 5 people say we want to support it. And as Nina said, the Brothers Foundation from the United States and the Pittsburgh Technology Chamber, I don't know how, but probably some karmas connected us, and really seeing this response of hearts, an immediate response to the needs of it. It's amazing. And I think we should be more focused on this, how the one less fortunate can get from those, will be shared by those who has more, because it's happening all the time. That's, yeah, the sharing. Okay, Anne-Marie.
thank you. And so what we see here is, on the one hand, the vision and the plan that has been made, and then putting it into practice, responding to the life conditions that there are now, but still seeing also that with that, we want to further evolve it into a social incubator where we can really offer and invite people to come in and to work with us on hope, manifesting that, seeing what could we be doing together in order to enliven that, to enlargen that, and to really feel that that can be part of our society, to start with in the town, in Auschwitz itself. So that's why it's so important that we really have also not only Kashi there, of course, but also Justina and other team members that are coming in, and the people that are going to live there. I'm just wondering whether there's something, because I'm thinking there are a few questions that have come in the chat that I saw coming past. And I'm wondering whether we should be looking at that now instead of only speaking about the next steps. So there's something about what we're looking at, the people. Nina, do you want to say something? Because you've been speaking with families that we're looking at. So I think you're knowing more about the conditions there. So please share that.
Well, so often the people are invited to stay in the hotels, but it's usually for a 5-day visit and then they move to another hotel. Or families have put up people, 5 extra people. But can you imagine if you're a family of 5 and you're staying in somebody else's apartment? It doesn't work very long. People are moving around as if they're looking for a space that they can put their legs in and feel comfortable. And today we spoke with some people, a young woman, and she has 3 children. One wants to go to college. The other one wants to finish high school. They have to go back to Ukraine for the young girl to take a test in school so that to make sure that it's connected still. So we want to help with all these processes. So as the people move in, we will help them finding out about jobs. The Polish government has made a list of what they will support and won't support, and Justina is working with us to help them. So we're growing the possibilities, and we're really looking forward to doing more. And most important, I want to say that this is our community, and we're really, really grateful for everything and everybody who has worked with us, because for me, it's been a miracle. None of us could have done it alone. We just couldn't have. It's not possible. And I remember having short conversations, like 5 words with Dot, let's say, and getting the message across. We need this, or we're doing that. And her responding and taking it forward. And that's the way we want to be when we work collaboratively. There was no mistrust. And there was this sense that we were all in this together. There was no who's doing what and what about me and where's it taking. So it's been a great experiment and it's worked. And that's what's even more amazing. We've probably raised about $250,000. Now, I'm telling you, that's not easy in a non-governmental organization to do it over a short period of time. From over 200 people on GoFundMe participated. I mean, it's remarkable. And it's really being a family. So thank you, and thank everybody.
So,
I hear
yes,
you.
Thank you, Nina. What I see from what Nina shared in the beginning, from the very beginning, why are we in the town of Auschwitz? And it was not planned, but it really showed slowly why we were called there. We saw, from my eyes, a big iceberg of a lot of pain and suffering and anger and a lot of pain mostly. And when we saw that and potential that we could, with most respectful hearts, turn around this iceberg, we saw what a potential of inspiration could happen out of that. And it is so sensitive still after so many years. But we see that it is right time. It is the hearts and the needs are ready. But now it's happening live. Now with the House of Hope and people just running away from the war, and of course seeing what is all happening, it's so easy to slip in the hate and deep hate and separation and so on. And our dream is how to make House of Hope not just for those who will be surviving there, but really how to become a House of Hope, also with bringing those qualities that we can see beyond, that we can go forward when it's time to go forward, and that we are open for everyone in need, and that we even inspire those who are coming from a very right corner that they could hate and blame and so on, but that maybe in the future could turn that around and use it for really the biggest impact in the future. And it is so, because the project is already expanding and working in some orphans and education in Ukraine and so on. And Ukraine is really being reset, and it's going to be a big question and big opportunity for humanity. What an example will be there where it is possible, without politically thinking, and so just on a humanity side of it. So thank you.
Thank you, Doman. Yes, indeed. We're also in the next phase, and we're also coming into the end of our time now. But I just wanted to share also that, if you speak about, we see the big picture, and then we see the smaller picture. Then, as you said, Nina, the beauty of the collaboration and the complexity also. And now in this next phase where people are coming to live there and be there, that's the next phase of really seeing how do we understand each other? How do we work together? How do we keep that communication flowing with all the differences and looking at that? So it's the next step in the collaboration and in the place that we're doing that in the town, in Auschwitz, and with the people in the town themselves, with the people that are coming from outside, the international community. So the complexity in that sense is really as life is, and to be aware and to work on that together. And I think it's beautiful that we're having this arc towards September Peace Week, because I'm imagining that in September, we will be sharing again once more here, and then share our learnings. How did it go? What were the difficulties? What really worked well, Nina? And then we need to come to a close.
I just was going to share that for the International Day of Peace, we imagine having a panel of youth, and the youth from Ukraine and the youth from Poland sharing their experience together. I think it's very important. And I want to say about Auschwitz, because I go there occasionally, and I have history with that, so that you all know. I was always told as a child that my grandmother was gassed there the day I was born. And I never went there when I was young, but as an adult, I went there and I experienced internally what those experiences must have been like. And I must say, it was hard. I've been in war zones, etc., but really seeing how the extermination, the systematic extermination of a race of people, we never want to do that again. No, we don't. And we do it. For sure, we do it all the time in different ways. So I want to say also that there are 2.5 million people that come to Auschwitz every year. So imagine if we just had 10% visiting the programs that we want to offer and offering them the possibility of dreaming a way that they can participate in making a better world. Because we all want to live in a world that works for our children, our children's children and their children. We must do this now. And there is no time left. It's now. That's it. Thank you. Oh, and I must share, because we have these bracelets. I'm wearing one. I don't know if you see. Anne-Marie is wearing it. They're beautiful with the sunflower on it. Yeah, and a little red bead. So here we are working. Nepalese women who have been sex trafficked, living in community. These are glass beads. They've made them for the Ukrainian women who are suffering now. And there's a lot of sex trafficking going on, believe me, underneath the covers. And we're trying to address that also. But anyway, and Janice has a whole bunch of them if you're interested in receiving one. She can share that information. But I want to thank you, everybody. It's been a great program. Thank you.
Thank you, Nina, for Thank you for your ongoing inspiration, Nina. For your sharing and for your wisdom, and also Doman also supporting, and the whole team here. And I'll hand back to Ben because he wants to do a little closing and making sure that we can continue with the World Unity Week as we are, and we will be showing up in other moments as well. Thank you all for being here.
Thank you, Nina. Thank you, Doman, for staying up so late. Thank you, Anna Marie, for facilitating this. And there's more where you can learn more about the House of Hope and what's happening. There are other programs. Nina, tell us, and Doman, where else can people tune in? I know that this is helps a lot of people.
We're going to be on May Peace Prevail on Earth on Thursday, the 23rd at 1 o'clock Eastern Time. And we'll be doing something different, but we'll be sharing more. Thank you.
And of course, the internet site is onehumanity.institute,
Yeah.
or the info@onehumanity.institute for those who are on social medias.
You know, it's such an important issue. And you know, it's been great to hear from Timothy and the other young people that you've got that are actually benefiting from this on this day of UN Day of Refugees. We couldn't have hoped for a more profoundly beautiful sharing. Thank you. And I know that so many people in the community are rising to support. You know, you mentioned Dodd and Janice and John, and this is an issue that around which we can rally, and your leadership. And you know what's so inspiring, Nina, is you have been on, no, you too, Dermot, but Nina, you have been on this for years and years and years, and now it is bearing fruit in such beautiful and glorious ways. So deep, deep bows. Let's keep going. We're on the 99 days of peace through unity. Let's have a vision. Let's push. Let's push hard for the House of Hope over these next 3 months, and let's celebrate again how far we've
For all
come.
of us.
Get to peace.
Yay!
All
Thank
the
you.
work.
Thank
For
you.
all the work.
Thank you, Anna Marie. Thank you very much. We're going to play a little video from Purpose Earth to close today with gratitude. And Emmanuel is had a little bit of a health issue, so let's send our prayers and all of our blessings out to him as well. He's recovering. He's okay. He's recovering. But if we can, Kaylin, have a message from Purpose Earth to close the evening plenaries of day 3 of World Unity Week. This day of water. What an incredible day it's been. You know, beginning all the way back with Auntie Anne and well, with the green sheikh actually to begin. Extraordinary man, Sheikh Abdulaziz, and then Auntie Pat and of course Auntie Anne Paulina. It's been extraordinary. It's been an amazing day. Gratitude to everybody. Thanks for being with us. Let's have a look at our friends from Purpose Earth. Thank you very much.